Hello everyone, welcome to the Needle Magic. Today we will be making this set, necklace and earrings using crochet beads and little bit of pearls. So I hope you like the tutorial. Let's get started. Let's make these crochet beads. So we'll start by making a magic ring first. तो इसके लिए सबसे पहले हमें magic ring बनाना है. So I'll wrap the yarn on my index finger like this twice, hold it with my middle finger and thumb, take the needle, slide it under the first loop, and we have to pull the second loop, and then we'll twist our needle a bit, slide it off your fingers and chain one to secure. So here we have made our magic ring. Now we have to make 6 single crochet stitches in the magic ring. So we'll go and pull up a loop. We'll have 2 loops on our needle, yarn over, pull through all the 2. So here we have to make 5 more. तो हमें इसमें total 6 single crochet stitches बनानी है. So एक हमने बना ली है, तो ये second वाली है, third, fourth, fifth, and this is the 6th single crochet stitch. Now we'll pull the yarn tail and close the magic ring, and we'll slip stitch to the first single crochet stitch that we made and join. So this is round number 1 completed. Now let's start with round number 2. Chain 1 single crochet stitch in the same stitch where we did the slip stitch. So we'll go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and we'll add a stitch marker to this stitch. This is the first stitch of round number 2. Now we'll make 1 more single crochet stitch in the same stitch. तो उसी same stitch में हम एक और single crochet stitch बनाएंगे. So we have 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. Now in the next stitch again we have to do 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Then in the next again 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and the second one in the same stitch. In the next again 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2. In the next stitch again 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2, and the last stitch 2 single crochet stitches, 1 and 2. So by the end of round 2 we'll have a total of 12 single crochet stitches. And here this is the slip stitch of the previous round and the chain 1. We don't have to work in there. Now we'll remove the stitch marker and we'll slip stitch to this stitch and join. तो जो फर्स्ट सिंगल क्रोशे स्टिच था जहाँ पे हमने स्टिच मार्कर लगाया है उस स्टिच से हम इसे जॉइन कर लेंगे. Now let's start with round number 3. Chain 1 single crochet stitch in the same stitch where we did the slip stitch, and we'll add our stitch marker. One single crochet stitch in the next stitch, 1 single crochet stitch into the next stitch, and we have to complete doing this until we reach the end. So we have to just keep doing 1 single crochet stitch in each of these following stitches. We don't have to do any increase here. तो यहाँ पे हम कोई increase नहीं कर रहे, बस एक एक single crochet stitch इन 12 stitches में हमने करते जाना है. Ten, 11 and 12. Now this is the slip stitch of the previous round, so we don't have to work in there. We'll remove the stitch marker and we'll slip stitch to this stitch and join. This is the first stitch of this round, so we'll slip stitch and join. Now chain 1, and now we have to do 6 decreases. तो हमें अब 6 decreases करने हैं. So we'll go in the same stitch where we did the slip stitch, we'll pull up a loop, we'll go into the next stitch and we'll pull up another loop. So we'll have 3 loops on our needle. We'll yarn over and pull through all the 3. So this is the first stitch of this round. So I'm going to add the stitch marker. It's very important to use a stitch marker here because you won't end up missing any stitch or you won't end up making extra stitches. Now again, in the next 2 stitches we have to do decrease. So we'll go in the next stitch, pull up a loop, go in the next stitch, pull up another loop, and you'll have 3 loops on your needle, yarn over and pull through all of them. So here again we have done a decrease. In the next 2 again we have to do decrease. So we'll pull up a loop, we'll go into the next, we'll pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through all the 3. Then in the next 2 again, go in, pull up a loop, go in the next, pull up another loop, yarn over, pull through all the 3. Then in the next 2 again we have to do decrease. So pull up a loop, go in the next, pull up another loop and yarn over, pull through all the 3. In the last 2 stitches we'll do the exact same. Pull up a loop, go in the next, pull up another loop, yarn over and pull through all the 3. Now we'll remove the stitch marker and we'll slip stitch to this stitch and join. And I'll pull this loop little long and fasten off. Now we have a tiny little space here. We'll add some yarn here inside so that it gets sturdy, and then we'll close the hole over here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of yarn. You can even add cotton or you can even add polyfill, but adding polyfill, the problem is that it shows between the stitches. See, I added polyfill in some of the beads, but it started showing. So it's better to add the same color yarn, little bit of yarn, and it gives a very nice look. Now in these beads I've added yarn, so you can see the difference between the beads in which we have added a polyfill and the beads where we added yarn. So this one is better. So it's better to add the same color yarn. Just little bit of yarn you can take, and what I like to do is just put it on top and take a pencil, and from the back side you can just push it in like this. So once this is done, we can take a tapestry needle and close the opening. तो इस तरीके से हम थोड़ी सी वही सेम कलर की yarn ऐड करेंगे, उससे बेटर लुक आता है. मैंने पॉलीफिल भी ऐड करके देखा है, लेकिन वो स्टिचेस के बीच में से दिखती है, और अगर लाइट कलर है फिर भी इतना मुश्किल नहीं होगा, लेकिन डार्क कलर के बीच में से जब वो पॉलीफिल दिखती है तो बिल्कुल भी अच्छा लुक नहीं आता. So this is almost done. Just push it in. And now we'll take a tapestry needle and here we have 6 stitches. We have these 6 stitches, so we'll go through each stitch and then we'll pull the yarn to close the opening. Just go in all the stitches. 2, this is the third one, 4, 5, and this is the 6th one. Now we'll just press the yarn in, and then we can just pull the yarn from here, and this will close the opening. Then what I like to do is, I don't like to put any knots over here. I just go in from the top, come out from the bottom, then go in from the bottom and come from the top. I do this 3 to 4 times and it's much secure enough. Then we can just cut the extra yarn. तो इस तरीके से आप ऊपर से नीचे 3-4 बार अगर जाएंगे तो यार्न सिक्योर हो जाएगी और इसे आप कट कर सकते हैं. Now I'll just cut this extra piece of yarn from here and you can see the bead is ready. So you have to make as many beads as you like depending on the size you want your necklace and your earrings to be. So I've made, I think, around 24 to 25, I think. I haven't counted them, and I have taken some of these pearls to add in between. It's totally optional, but I feel it will give a better look. So now let's start assembling them. So first we'll make a chain. So I'm leaving a little bit of yarn and then I'm making a slip knot. तो थोड़ी सी yarn tail छोड़ने के बाद हम यहाँ पे slip knot बनाएंगे. And I'm going to chain random. I'm not counting. I'm just chaining random number just to make sure that because when we add the beads to the chain, it doesn't move and it stays in place rather than just putting the plain yarn. So I like to do it this way. So I'm just going to chain a bit. So here I've made the chain. You can make the chain as big and as small depending on how long you want your necklace to be. And I'm making it as big so that it can just slide it off my head and I don't need to add any loop. But if you're making a small necklace, then you need to add a loop behind so that you can open and close it with that. तो अगर आप बड़ी बना रहे हैं जो आपके सिर से ईजिली स्लाइड हो जाएगा नेक तक, तो फिर आपको लूप लगाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. लेकिन आप अगर छोटा नेकलेस बना रहे हैं तो लूप लगाना बहुत ज़रूरी होगा ताकि आप ओपन क्लोज आराम से कर पाएँ. सो नाउ आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू फास्टन ऑफ. आई जस्ट ऐड अ स्टिच मार्कर टू दिस लूप and I'll start adding the beads from the other side, from the other end of the chain. So here now I'll take a tapestry needle and then we can just start adding our beads. So I'll start with the pearl first. Then purple bead. You can make them with different colors and you can use all your scrap yarns. Then another pearl. So this is what I was talking about, that if you make a chain and then you add the beads, they'll stay in place. Then a white one, cream color. Some of the beads you need to just push it through. Then another pearl. Another crochet bead. Another pearl. So I'll be adding all of these, and then once I'm done, then I'll show you how it looks. So I've added the beads and the pearls. So now I'll remove my stitch marker from here and I'm going to fasten off. And now I'm going to slide it till there is no chain over here. So I'll just slide it through here. and here I'm going to cut the extra chain that I have, and I'm just opening the chain till the last crochet bead. And then I'll tighten it. And now I'm just going to tie a couple of knots, and then I'll put the yarn tail in the crochet bead so that it's secured enough and doesn't open. But if you are making a smaller necklace, then you need to add a loop on both the ends so that you can open and close easily. Otherwise it will get really tough. So I'm just tying a couple of knots, making sure it's secured enough. I don't want it to open. And then once you're done, you can just, if you're making a bigger one and you're doing the same like I'm doing, you can take a tapestry needle. I'm just going to go in. No, I'll just go in here. And you can just take the yarn tails and pull it through. And then we can do that 2 to 3 times so that it's secured enough. And when the yarn tail is small, I just put the needle where I want my yarn to go and then just thread it and pull it through. We'll do that with the other yarn tail as well. This way it will be more secured. If you're also tying a knot like this and not using loops, this is the best way to do so that it's secured enough and it doesn't open. And then we can cut the extra yarn from here. And our neck piece is ready. Now let's start making the earrings. So this is the type of earring I've made using this earring hoop. So it's very easy. I'm just taking a tapestry needle and threading it up, and I'm using purple yarn because I've added purple color bead at the bottom, so the knot is not visible, so it gives a nice neat look. So I'm taking double yarn this time, and I'm not making a chain. And now I'll tie a knot at the bottom which will hold it in place. तो इस तरीके से हम नॉट बना लेंगे, जैसे हम सुई धागा का नॉट बनाते हैं जब भी कुछ सिल रहे होते हैं, उस तरीके से हम एक नीचे नॉट बना लेंगे. And then we can start adding our crochet beads. I'm not using any pearls for the earring. I'm just using the crochet beads for this. So we'll take a bead and add it, and just pull it tight. Okay, so the knot that we have made is not so visible, so that's the reason I've used the same color bead at the bottom. Now let's add another color. Then pink color. And now we need to add the loop, but before that I'm just going back through all the beads from the top. Through all the 3 beads and carefully coming from the back, from the down. We have to just come down, and then we can leave a loop on top from where we can add the hoop. So I'm just going to take the loop, open it up and add this. And just tighten it. and then we can just pull the yarn from down and leave little bit of yarn on top so that it hangs like this. You know, it shakes because if you pull it tightly, then it won't give that hanging effect like this. So now we'll just go in from here, from the bottom, and I'm just coming out from the same bead because I just need to make it secured. Just 2 to 3 times. I'm just going in the same bead because it's the same color and it won't show. Because if we do this in some other color bead, then all the knots, all the yarn tails will show and it won't give a nice and neat look. Now I think it's secured enough, and I'm just going to cut the extra yarn from here. And here our neck piece and the earrings are ready. I hope you liked the tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Keep crocheting, stay safe, be happy. Bye bye.